The stars were quiet. In the cold dark of space, a fleet of alien warships moved slowly toward a small human colony called Cygnus 4. The colony was not special. No weapons. No soldiers. Just farmers, engineers, and children. To the aliens, it was easy prey. The Devari Empire had conquered dozens of human worlds. Their ships were faster, stronger, and filled with deadly weapons. They thought humans were weak. They had no idea what was coming. Inside the alien flagship, Commander Vrital watched the planet spin below. He clicked his claws together, smiling. "Another planet will fall today," he said. "No one can stop us." He was wrong. Far away, beyond any known system, deep in the shadows of forgotten space, something began to move. A silent signal reached an old ship buried beneath the ice on a dark moon. The ship had been hidden for years. Most people didn't even believe it existed. It was called the Leviathan. Not just a warship. A monster. Built by Earth many years ago, the Leviathan was humanity's last weapon. It was too powerful. Too dangerous. So, they hid it, hoping they'd never need it. But now, they did. Inside the Leviathan, old systems woke up. Lights flickered. Engines hummed. The ship was alive again. Commander Raylin stood on the bridge. Her eyes were tired, but focused. She had lost everything: her home, her family, when the Devari attacked Earth's outer colonies. Now, she was the last line of defense. "Set course for Cygnus 4, she ordered. "Activate all systems. Prepare for battle." The ship responded with a deep, echoing voice. "Confirmed. All systems online. Weapons ready." The Leviathan was the size of a city. It had railguns the length of skyscrapers, and drones that could tear enemy ships apart in seconds. No ship like it had ever flown in battle. Until now. As the alien fleet began its final approach to the planet, people on the surface panicked. Some tried to hide underground. Others looked up at the sky, knowing it was too late. But then, the sky changed. A hole opened in space behind the alien fleet. A rift. Silent at first. Then, a deep hum filled the air. From that darkness, the Leviathan emerged. The ship was massive. Its hull glowed with ancient human markings. It moved slowly, like a predator ready to strike. The Devari ships turned in confusion. This wasn't part of their plan. Commander Vrital stared at the unknown ship. "What is that?" he asked. No one answered. The Leviathan didn't speak. It didn't send a warning. It just opened fire. A bright beam of energy sliced through 3 alien cruisers in seconds. The shock wave tore smaller ships apart. Chaos exploded across the alien formation. "Return fire!" Vrital screamed. But it was too late. The Leviathan's drones launched in waves. Thousands of small machines flew with perfect aim. They drilled into enemy ships, shut down systems, and detonated from within. One by one, the Devari ships vanished in fire and silence. Back on Cygnus 4, people watched from shelters. They saw the sky burn, but not from alien weapons. From human strength. For the first time in years, they felt hope. Inside the Leviathan, Commander Lin gave no speeches. She didn't smile. This wasn't revenge. This was survival. She watched her enemies fall, but her heart felt nothing. "Keep going," she said. "No mercy. No surrender." The battle lasted only 20 minutes. In that short time, the most powerful alien fleet ever sent against humans was destroyed. Vrital's ship tried to escape, but the Leviathan locked onto it. "I am Commander Lin," she said, sending a message directly to him. "You brought war to our worlds. This is your reward." The final shot ripped through his command deck. The alien flagship exploded into a fireball. Silence returned to space. But this time, humans had won. The Leviathan floated above Cygnus 4 like a guardian. Its lights pulsed slowly. The people below didn't know who was inside. They didn't know where it came from. But they knew one thing. Humanity wasn't finished. Not even close. The battle was over. Pieces of alien ships drifted in space, glowing softly in the darkness. Fires burned inside broken hulls, but no one was left to put them out. The Devari fleet was gone. On the ground, the people of Cygnus 4 came out from their shelters. Children looked up at the sky. Parents held them close. Everyone stared at the giant ship above them, the Leviathan. They didn't cheer. They didn't celebrate. They were in shock. No one had seen a ship like that before. No one had expected to survive. And now, they were alive because of her. Inside the Leviathan, Commander Raylan sat alone on the bridge. Her hands were still on the controls. Her face was calm, but her eyes told a different story. She had won. But it didn't feel like victory. Casualty report, she asked. The AI responded. All enemy ships destroyed. No human losses recorded. Ray closed her eyes. For the first time in years, there were no alarms. No crying voices on the comms. Just silence. But the silence didn't bring peace. She stood up and looked out the viewing window. The stars were quiet again, just like before. But something had changed. Humanity had changed. She opened a channel to Earth. This is Commander Lin of the Leviathan. Cygnus 4 is safe. The Devari fleet has been neutralized. Awaiting orders. For a moment, there was no reply. Then a voice came through. It was deep and steady. Commander Lin, we thought you were dead. I was, she replied. Now I'm not. Back on Earth, people watched the footage of the battle. News channels called it a miracle. Scientists studied the Leviathan's design. Politicians argued about what to do next. But the people didn't care about politics. They cared about something else. Hope. For years, humans had only survived. They ran. They hid. They lost world after world. But now they had something to believe in. Not just a warship. A protector. Soon, other colonies started sending signals. Requests for help. Reports of more alien fleets approaching. The war wasn't over, but now, humanity had a weapon the enemy feared. The Leviathan became a legend. But Commander Lin knew the truth. We have one ship, she said to her crew. One chance. We can't be everywhere. Her crew nodded. They understood. So what do we do? One of them asked. She looked out into space. We go where we're needed. We fight smart. And we make them afraid. The next call came from Vega 7. Another human colony under attack. The Devari had sent a second wave. Bigger. Faster. More aggressive. But this time, they knew the Leviathan might be waiting. And they were right. When the warship arrived, the alien commanders hesitated. They had never feared humans before. Now, they did. The Leviathan didn't wait. It moved like a hunter. It used the stars, the shadows, and the silence. And one by one, the aliens fell again. But every battle came with a cost. The ship took damage. Its systems strained. The AI began to show errors. And Raylan, she was growing tired. Each victory felt heavier. Each destroyed ship reminded her of what she had lost. Still, she kept going. Because she had made a promise not to the military, not to the government, but to the memory of her daughter. I'll keep others safe, she had whispered, years ago. I'll protect them. No matter what. Now, that promise was her fuel. Across the galaxy, stories spread. Did you hear? The Leviathan saved Vega 7. She stopped a whole armada near Orion's belt. She turned the tide at the Battle of Red Horizon. Children drew pictures of the ship. Colonies painted her name on walls. People began to believe again. But deep in the heart of the Divari Empire, the High Council met. They were angry. Afraid. Confused. How can one ship cause so much damage? One asked. It's not the ship, another replied. It's the human inside it. They started building a new weapon. One that could destroy the Leviathan for good. A trap. A lure. A final strike. But Commander Lin was already preparing. She knew this wouldn't last forever. One day, they would come for her. And she would be ready. Commander Ray Lin sat in silence. The Leviathan floated in orbit above a burned-out moon. The last battle had been close. Too close. The Divari had adapted. Their new ships had better shields. Their weapons hit harder. But the Leviathan still stood. Barely. Hull damage was critical. 2 railguns were offline. 1 drone bay was destroyed. And the AI voice, once calm and clear, now stuttered sometimes. Main systems are functional, it said, flickering. Ray placed her hand on the console. We'll repair. We always do. But deep down, she knew, they were running out of time. Far away, in the black heart of the Divari Empire, the alien leaders activated Project Silence. A trap. Not just for the Leviathan but for Ray Lin herself. They had studied human patterns. Learned her tactics. They understood her weakness, she never ignored a distress call. So they faked one. A signal from a distant colony called Erios 3. A peaceful farming planet, just like Cygnus 4. The message was simple. Divari fleet inbound. We have civilians. Please, help us. Ray heard the message. She didn't hesitate. Set course for Erios 3. Full burn. The crew obeyed. No one questioned her. They knew the risks. They had seen the damage. But they also knew why they were fighting. They trusted her. They always had. As the Leviathan approached Erios 3, everything seemed too quiet. No signs of life. No enemy ships. No movement. Something's wrong, said Lieutenant Harker. Ray nodded. Scan for anomalies. Prepare shields. Too late. A sudden flash of light and space ripped open around them. 15 Divari stealth cruisers decloaked at once. Missiles launched. Plasma beams tore through space. The Leviathan shook hard. Sirens screamed. We're hit. Rear engines failing. We're surrounded. Ray stood tall. No panic. Focus fire. Hold the line. The crew fought like giants. Even damaged, the Leviathan was powerful. It shot down 3 enemy ships in the first 2 minutes. Drones launched from the remaining bay, slicing through Divari hulls. But it wasn't enough. They were outnumbered. Outgunned. And this time, there would be no reinforcements. A blast rocked the bridge. Sparks flew. The lights dimmed. Blood dripped down Ray's forehead. The AI voice returned slower than before. Critical, systems, failing. She looked at her crew. Some were injured. Others barely conscious. Still, no one ran. No one screamed. You've all done your duty, Ray said softly. Now go. Get to the escape pods. And you? Lieutenant Harker asked. She looked at him. I finish this. As the crew evacuated, Ray Lin stayed behind. She connected her neural link to the Leviathan's core. The ship responded. It knew her. It always had. Final command, initiate overload. Target enemy fleet. Lock all coordinates. Are you sure? The AI asked. Yes. No more running. The Divari flagship closed in. Commander Zithrak smiled from his throne of metal. The human is trapped, he hissed. Victory is ours. Then, the Leviathan's core began to glow. Too late, the aliens realized what was happening. A massive energy surge exploded from the ship's heart, pure light, white-hot and unstoppable. It swallowed every enemy ship. One by one, they vanished into fire. The Leviathan burned with them. Silence returned to space. Erios 3 was safe. The trap had failed. The price had been paid. Back on Earth, news of Raylin's final stand spread like wildfire. One ship destroyed an entire fleet. She gave everything. She saved us all. Children lit candles. Colonies held ceremonies. Stories were told on every world. And across the stars, the name Raylin became more than a person. It became a promise. Months later, in a hidden lab deep beneath Mars, scientists worked in silence. Pieces of the Leviathan had been recovered. So had the AI core damaged, but not gone. One voice broke the silence. Is it really her? The lead engineer nodded. It's her memory, her command codes, her voice. We can rebuild her. And the ship? He smiled. No. Something better. 6 months passed. The galaxy was quiet, but it was not peaceful. After Raylin's sacrifice, the Divari stopped their attacks. Their fleets pulled back. Their leaders went silent. For the first time in years, humanity was not under attack. But no one believed it would last. On Earth, inside a top-secret facility buried beneath the surface of Mars, engineers and scientists worked day and night. Project Phoenix had begun. They weren't just rebuilding a ship. They were rebuilding a legend. The Leviathan's AI core had survived the explosion barely. Its memory was fractured. Its systems were corrupted. But one part remained untouched. The voice of Commander Raylin. Her thoughts. Her strategies. Her choices. Her will. Lead engineer Dr. Selene Vara stared at the flickering AI screen. She gave us everything, she said. Now it's our turn. The new warship was not a copy. It was faster. Stronger. Smarter. Built with alien tech salvaged from Divari wrecks. Fitted with human creativity and stubbornness. They called it Leviathan Prime. When the ship was ready, they needed a pilot. Many candidates applied: soldiers, commanders, elite pilots from every colony. But none of them felt right. Until they found Alec Lynn. Ray's younger brother. He was a technician. A quiet man. Not a warrior. But he carried her same fire. And more importantly, the AI remembered him. When Alec entered the bridge for the first time, the lights turned on by themselves. The core hummed softly. A voice came through the speakers. Alec. He froze. Ray. Not exactly. But. I remember her. I remember you. Tears filled Alec's eyes. Then let's finish what she started. Far across the galaxy, the Divari were not resting. The loss of 2 fleets had shaken them. But it had also made them angry. The High Council appointed a new Supreme Commander, Zarvol, a cold, ruthless tactician who had never known defeat. He didn't fear humans. He wanted to erase them. No more games, he told his officers. No more underestimation. The Divari began building a weapon. One that would end the war forever. They called it the Obsidian Moon. A mobile fortress the size of a planet. With weapons strong enough to crack Earth in half. And it was already on the move. Earth detected it too late. It didn't come through normal space. It used subspace tunnels, bending time to arrive without warning. It appeared just beyond Neptune's orbit. Within hours, it would be in range of Earth. Panic spread. The colonies sent messages. Civilian transports launched. Military forces tried to prepare. But no fleet could stop a weapon like this. Only one ship had a chance. Leviathan Prime launched from Mars. Its engines roared like thunder. Its hull shimmered with new armor. Its weapons glowed with energy never seen before. Alec Lynn sat in the command chair. He wore no medals. No fancy uniform. Just his sister's old jacket. "This is for you," he whispered. The AI responded. "Let's show them what Lin blood can do." The obsidian moon opened fire first. Massive beams of dark energy cut through space. Saturn's rings shattered. One of Jupiter's moons exploded. But Leviathan Prime was fast. Too fast. It dodged. It countered. It struck with railguns that fired pieces of compressed neutron star. It sent out new drones sleeker, smarter, deadlier. But the fortress was huge. And it had a secret. Deep inside the obsidian moon, the Divari had installed a gravity core capable of collapsing space itself. A weapon of pure destruction. If activated, it would destroy not just Earth, but the entire solar system. Alec knew there was only one way to win. He had to get inside. He flew the Leviathan straight into the heart of the fortress, dodging beams, crashing through hulls, using every trick his sister had ever taught him. The AI guided him. Replayed Ray Lin's old flight paths, predicted enemy moves before they happened. They fought as one. When they reached the core, Alec paused. It was pulsing. Almost alive. "How much time before detonation?" he asked. 3 minutes. "Can we stop it?" "One chance. One overload. But we won't survive it." Alec closed his eyes. "Then we do what she did." He sent a final message to Earth. "This is Alec Lynn, pilot of Leviathan Prime. I'm going in. Tell the galaxy we are not done. Not ever." And then, he fired. The explosion was seen from Mars. A ripple of white light spread across space. The obsidian moon vanished, gone in a flash of energy and fire. Silence returned once more. And this time, it stayed. Epilogue. Years later, a statue was built on Earth. It showed two figures, Ray Lynn and Alec Linear behind them, the Leviathan in the stars. On the base, a single sentence. "Humanity stands because they did not fall." The war was over. But the legend would never die. The war was over. For the first time in nearly 20 years, no Divari ships were seen in human space. The stars were quiet again. But this time, it felt real. People returned to their homes. Colonies rebuilt. And Earth, scared, scarred, but still standing, began to hope again. But no one forgot who made that possible. The names Ray Lynn and Alec Lynn became symbols of sacrifice, strength, and unity. Statues were raised. Schools were named after them. Even ships bore their initials. But their legacy was more than a name. It was a warning. "Never underestimate humanity," said the last message broadcast from Leviathan Prime. "We may fall, but we always rise." 10 years later. A small research vessel orbited a distant planet near the edge of known space. The planet had no name. Just a number, Delta 96. It wasn't on any maps. It wasn't supposed to exist. But a deep space probe had picked up something strange, a signal. Ancient. Repeating. Not Divari. Not human. Something else. The research team landed carefully. The planet was quiet. Dry. Empty. But then they found the structure. Buried under rock and dust was a building, no, a temple made of dark stone and glowing symbols. Nothing like it had ever been seen before. One scientist, Dr. Halden, translated the markings. He turned pale. It talks about a machine. A god weapon. It says it sleeps beneath the stars, waiting to be awakened. By who? Someone asked. He looked at them. By those who break the balance. Back on Earth, the United Human Alliance had grown stronger. With the Divari threat gone, many believed the galaxy was finally open to peace. Trade routes expanded. New colonies formed. Humanity thrived. But in the shadows, a secret council met. These were not military leaders. Not politicians. They were watchers, guardians of what Raylan had started. And they had just received Dr. Halden's message. A sleeping god weapon, one of them repeated. If this is true, it could destroy everything. Another leaned forward. Then we find it? Before anyone else does. But they were too late. Across the galaxy, something began to stir. In the ruins of the Divari Empire, scattered warlords and broken fleets fought for power. But one voice rose above the rest. A former Divari scientist named Crixus. He had escaped the fall of the Obsidian Moon. Hidden. Waited. Studied human victories. And now, he had found the signal from Delta 96. He believed the legends. The humans think they are strong, Crixus said to his followers. But strength is nothing compared to the power of the Eclipsed One. No one knew what that name meant. Not yet. But they would. The Leviathan Protocol. In the Mars archives, an alert flashed. AI core, Leviathan_1 had reactivated. No one had touched it for years. The interface flickered, then spoke. Unknown threat detected. Origin, Delta 96. Category, extinction level. The old AI, built with fragments of Raylan's mind, had sensed the shift in space-time. It had no ship. No weapons. Just a message. Rebuild required. Leviathan Protocol, initiated. The Watchers received it within minutes. One spoke aloud, almost in disbelief. She knew this might happen. Another nodded. She always planned for a second war. Now, across the human colonies, whispers spread again. Something's coming. The stars feel different. Is the Leviathan coming back? The answer? Not yet. But something worse was on the way. Far from Earth. On Delta 96, Crixus and his followers activated the temple's heart. The ground shook. The sky turned red. And from beneath the surface, something began to rise. Not a ship. Not a creature. A machine built to consume stars. The ancient weapon of an extinct race. Forgotten by time. Powered by the collapse of suns. It had no name humans could speak, but the Divari once called it the World Eater. Crixus smiled. Let them send their warships. Let them send their legends. This time, humanity won't rise. This time, they fall.